Okay, we're going to get up and get live here in just a minute. Kind of posting a few little questions. Where y'all from is what I like to know. We want to see where people are from tonight as they get on. Here, hey, look here, Jimmy Miller says Taylorsville. I'm going to give him a like. Whoop, I got to turn my sound off here. I want to be giving some feedback to everybody. Everybody here is loud and clear out there. And we're going to give everybody a minute or two to jump on here. It's just now 8 o'clock. See how many folks we're going to get on here. We got 12 on there now. Man, Christopher, you. Fred's got the old, he's from Shepherdsville. I had some fun last week. I got to go over and talk to those high school boys over there at the North Bullitt Bass team, and that was a lot of fun with those guys. And I want to thank Fred for inviting me out to come over and speak to them. And got Carl Carson, he's jumping on here. South Carolina right there. Now we're getting some reach out there. Carl will be coming up on an episode here later in the season, and definitely had a lot of fun with Carl. And actually, Carl and me got to go back to Vero Trophy Bass Lakes where we fished on this week's episode, and we went back down and we filmed another episode down there. And I think Carl will reply here on Facebook. It's pretty phenomenal down there. David Rice, how are you, David? You always following all of our stuff. We sure appreciate you. Buck Bracken, how are you, sir? Bill Turner, Mr. Turner, Tennessee 811 right there. I get the opportunity to do a few things for Bill. I actually, he had my 811 bass boat and had all of us down last year to the Classic down in Knoxville, Tennessee to promote the 811 message and talk to people about safe digging down at the Bassmasters Classic. So hope you're doing well there, Bill. Mike Tarrick, I made it. Mike, you on here every Tuesday night. We always like seeing you. So anyway, as we're gaining followers, any of y'all that jump on here, if you can take and share this post out to your friends, invite them to watch and join us live. We're going to be giving away a few giveaways this week. I've got some actually pretty big news that we're going to announce a little later in after the bite. So every week we get on here after the show Tuesday nights. The show airs at 7 p.m. So at 8 we get on here live, and we want to talk to you about the episode, where we were at, who the guest was, talk a little bit about fishing, so on and so forth, and share a little information for you. We call this show After the Bite. We always have a lot of fun with it. We get a lot of great responses, get a lot of great comments. Hi, Justin Jennings. And Carl Carson, you did comment, unbelievable day of biggins, and that's the truth about Vero Trophy Bass Lakes. When we were down there, it was phenomenal. I mean, my excitement, you really didn't see enough of my excitement in the episode because it was just unbelievable. What's really crazy is the next day was we went out and was catching them on top water, and catching that kind of quality on top water, it was crazy. Will Roby, we welcome you on board tonight. And we got some big news coming up, and that'll just be a hint there to you, Will. Hi, Cody Roundtree, Tim Losman, Scott Bell is watching. We appreciate all of you folks jumping on there. And as I said a second ago, invite all your friends. Hit invite, share this thing out. We're always trying to get a crowd on here because we're going to have some fun giveaways sitting behind me. I asked a question earlier in the week on our Instagram and on our Facebook. We did a little spelling out on there and said, what company is going to be joining our Direction family? We've got a new partner and sponsor coming on board. We're going to announce that a little later tonight. It's pretty exciting. These guys, I had the opportunity a few months back, I'm going to say 6-8 weeks ago, to sit down for probably almost a day. Our meeting lasted, and got to know these guys, and just felt like it was going to be a glove fit for us here at the Direction, and we're going to announce who that is. If you want to go on our, everybody made guesses, so we're going to tell who won from the Instagram and Facebook post of guessing the correct partner and sponsor that was coming on board, and we'll be telling that. But we're also going to be giving away some more goodies. So I always have a question each week. So I've decided each week we're going to name this the 811 Trivia Question. And these questions, well, most of the time, there's no way to Google them and look up the answers. So here's my question of the week. Which state is the furthest that I have traveled to film in? So not out of the country, but which state is the furthest that I've traveled to film in? So that's going to be what y'all are going to be commenting on tonight. So everybody wants to guess which state is the furthest I've traveled to fish in. So start making some guesses on that. That's our 811 Trivia Question of the week. And we're going to be, I'll repeat it throughout the night as we talk a little bit. So now I want to get to talking about the episode itself. This episode this week was sponsored by One Call Concepts. These folks, you hear me, you see that big logo on my boat, you see it right below that giant 811 logo that we're always talking safe digging. Well, OCC is One Call Concepts. These folks, they're always having me get the message of 811 out there and safe digging and talking to folks all over the country and states, and they're always involved in that safe digging message. And OCC is one of our big partners who says, Mark, get that 811 message out there to as many folks as you can, because we want to keep people safe. So OCC, we want to thank you for this great episode that you allowed us to film in Florida with Brent Anderson. And Brent has a phenomenal place down there called Vero Trophy Bass Lakes. Now, when Brent tried to get me to say this right, I called it Vero Trophy Fishing Bass Lakes. I jumble the words up in the name of the place, but let me tell you, Brent Anderson, number one, is just an amazing fisherman. And this guy, to get in the boat with him down here on these, these are orange groves. They're irrigation lakes for the orange groves, and they're full of Florida strain largemouth. And what Brent's doing down there and what they're doing to grow these bass, and then there's some amazing red enter in there, by the way, as well. But to go down and fish with Brent and to experience this was, other than Mexico, I've never been anywhere nothing like it. And so I had the opportunity to fish with Brent multiple days down there. It was, all I can say was a wow. And we're going to be bringing Brent Anderson on here in a few minutes. And when Brent's on here, he's a guy that knows a lot about the TVA lakes. This guy's great with electronics. He's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to fishing. So send us any questions that you have, and we'll try to get Brent to answer them. So I'm seeing all the state guesses. Y'all are doing good here. Texas, New York, Alaska. Now, I wish I'd been to Alaska. I haven't been to that one, but that's a good guess because it's a long way. So once again, the 811 trivia question is, what state is the furthest that I've traveled to film in? So, but I'm going to repeat that question a few times to keep the guesses. So what I'd like to do now is, I'm going to probably go ahead and bring Brent Anderson on here. And we're going to talk a little bit about the episode, and then hopefully in just a little while, we'll talk a little bit about who this new partner is going to be. So, Christopher, I guess you want to be trying to, my oldest son, of course, operates all the camera back there and makes this show, puts it together. He's the guy that makes it happen. Won the show because he films it, puts it all together, works with the editors and everybody to make the show happen. And he's also the guy that makes After the Bite happen as well. And I can't pat this kid on the back enough because he's got a dad always pushing at him, and he never is, he's never not right there making it happen. So I'm a proud dad on top of it. And Chris, you're behind the camera and nobody can see you, but I'm waving at you and saying thank you, son. And but we're going to bring Brent Anderson on here, and we're going to be talking a little bit about Vero Trophy Bass Lakes. And we're going to be talking to Brent. If you got any questions on the fishing, you know, make a comment on here and ask Brent whatever you want to know. Anybody that knows this guy knows he knows Pickwick, Kentucky Lake, all these places well. And he has the awesome job of guiding. All right, so we're going to be catching up here. All right, I think we can hear you now, Brent, I believe. Can you hear us now? Now, I can hear you now. So, absolutely wonderful. I guess you're down there in sunny Florida? Yeah. I hate to tell you, I don't believe you. Because all I can say is I watch that Instagram every day, and I watch that Facebook of yours, and every single day I see loads of numbers of bass and some good ones as well. And it looks like y'all are having fun every day, bringing people in down there. And I got to see your new lodge that y'all had while we were down there this latest filming trip, which is not what we just watched on the episode. We have come back and actually filmed with you again with Carl Carson and Misty and No Person Left Behind. And but I have all I can say is to talk about the episode. Man, what a day we had down there.
But you couldn't have scripted it any better. The kind of started off a little slow and a little small, and then they kept getting a little bigger. And I guess now the cat's out of the bag on how we ended
That's
that
for
show.
sure.
With you
And a bug-eyed giant on top of it.
Absolutely.
You got to, just to talk a little bit about you and what you're doing. Originally, I guess you guided up on Kentucky Lake, or kind of walk through, tell me a little bit about, your past history of, Tennessee and where you've guided and where you're, just, your path to getting to Florida.
Well, I was raised right outside of Nashville, and I fished my entire life, and that's pretty much I never bass fished until probably about 1998 or so. My uncle introduced me to bass fishing, and he had a bass club and told me I didn't even know what a tournament was. And about 2000, I started fishing his club, and it was horrible. I mean, I outrode every tournament the first year, and I almost quit. But I ended up just falling in love with it. I dedicated my life to it. In 2009, I quit my day job and moved to Kentucky Lake and had some pretty blessed tournament success real fast up there right after I quit. And, with that kind of that little burst onto the scene, people started calling. Yeah, I didn't set out to be a fishing guide, I just wanted to do something in the industry, and God kind of led me down this path to where I'm at. So you can see Lake, started kind of with the carp problem and the fish population going down a little bit. I started fishing Pickwick. I've always fished Gunnersville a lot, but this whole Florida gig came along. Good friend of mine, John Smiley, I went to high school with. He works with the owners that own this place down here in Nashville. And he called me a few years ago and asked me if I'd be interested in, trying to build something down here. And here we are, man. We're going
Well, you've
strong.
built something that if, whether you're a novice fisherman or an experienced fisherman, It's definitely an experience. One, it's a beautiful place the way it lays in those orange groves like that. You know, something they don't see on TV. And when we were down there this latest trip filming with you, we even walked some canals and we're catching cichlids. And it's amazing the big largemouth that are in all these canal ditches all through these farms. And
it's pretty funny. I've got my good friend Nathan Adams is down here helping me now. With guiding and marketing, and so we can take bigger groups. And I was on a trip yesterday, and while we're out on the reservoir, Nathan was running a 6-pounder over the top of the berm there from the canal, releasing it into the lake. So I don't know. There's all kinds of adventures down here we get in, from gar gigging at night. I took some guys the other night. They were staying here at the camp at the lodge, and I asked them if they wanted to go gig some gar, but they took a couple rods and they ended up catching several bass just fishing off the piers. So there's no lack of stuff to get into down here for catching something. That's why we always say come catching with us. You are going to catch when you
there's no doubt about it. And that's why I said whether you're experienced fisherman or novice, because for me, it was, take Terry McWilliams, which Terry travels with me. Everybody's always hearing me talk about Terry. Terry was with us. And Brent, you can remember Terry. He's over in the camera boat, and the guy is steering the camera boat. What a boring job. You're running a trolling motor, you're watching these guys fish. And Terry is like a 12-year-old kid sitting over there. He's like a bird dog. He's just waiting to grab his rod. And every time we pause, Terry would grab his rod and he would just throw out. Like boom, the minute. And, and it was because of the fish that we were sitting there catching. We never even got the boat in the water, Brent, and Terry had already caught, one or two fish just from the ramp. The place is just, I can't explain it to somebody. It's just phenomenal, and it's a great experience. And then with your fishing skills married into that, it just makes for just a unbelievable, honestly, just one of those lifetime trips. It's really a lifetime trip.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Mark. And that's what we were hoping for down here. It's kind of come a different way. I was thinking it was going to be more of a trophy hunt kind of deal. I never had dreamed that the numbers of, we catch 9 and 10 inch yearlings in here too, but there's just a lot of these friends of mine that were down fishing over the weekend. That he texted me today, and his iPhone won't recognize his thumbprint because he's with so many bass. We caught like 300.
Oh, I like that one.
What better advertisement can you have than that? For what we can offer here. But
hold the thumb up.
It was, but it's awesome to hear stuff like that. Last year we guys, man, they ended up catching 400 bass in a day. It was just amazing, and the guy's his iPhone watch was going off, telling him how great he was doing on his exercises for the day, and it's from him wanting to fish in. So it's a factory, and it takes a lot of work to keep it going. We just had a couple of big loads of shad.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Obviously, we always, yeah. So we have to take out, certain sizes and certain amounts of fish, and which is cool with that. We're putting them in the canal, get back into the reservoirs. But if we take out there's a fast grower in there, on our off days we're fishing the canals and into the reservoir. So we kind of got our own little hatcheries, grow out station here, making sure we're packed with good, fat, healthy bass for everybody.
Well, it's like I said, it's definitely an experience of lifetime. And once again, I'll tell somebody, if they get the opportunity to fish with you and to watch you move at the pace you do, and your diversity of baits. What I enjoy about it is, you're not shiner fishing for these fish. You're really taking folks out there. Say somebody hasn't ever really fished certain baits, or they're a novice. Man, they could go out there with you and they can literally learn about fishing a bait, because the numbers of fish are there, and then standing right there with them. Once again, I'll brag on it over and over and over, because we came back again, as I said, this year. When you invited me back, I was like, we're on the way. And then I'll tell a little bit about, we did some red ear fishing this year. And if you jump back on my Instagram or Facebook of the direction, you can go and see, Clayton the boy with us caught a pound 9 red ear. That's crazy. Somebody can come down there, spend a couple days with y'all, stay in the lodge, experience some amazing red ear fishing, and even get out there and learn the basics of bass fishing, or try to catch a big trophy. Brent, you still there?
Yeah,
okay.
Buddy. That's you kind of froze up for just a second there. But yeah, man, I call it world class brim fishing down here. That's not my specialty. I don't really have a specialty, but it's definitely not brim. But when our biologist was here shopping, he told me what was in here, and I started finding where they were fishing for bass. I caught one about a pound 3/4 on a chatter the other day. So these great big red ears will kind of show themselves while we're up there bass fishing, and then we come back with my little drop shot half a night crawler rig and do work on them.
Hey, and that is a slick setup.
That's something that kept all and the crappie are starting to show up. We have the one reservoir has a really good population of crappies, so we got a little bit of everything for everybody, man. That's heck, my buddy Nathan took a 8-year-old and 11-year-old the other day, and they boated over 100 bass on their own. Like, that's without Nathan fishing up to 5.5 pounds. So I don't know. It's just an awesome place from a tour level pro down to a young kid, man, and hopefully we can just keep it going that way.
Well, I think you got something magical there, and I think it's something that people could come down and enjoy. And once again, it was a pleasure and a joy to get to fish with you, and I appreciate you having us back again this year, because we got a pretty amazing episode going to come up later in the season, which will be one of our final episodes with Misty Weiss and Carl Carson. And all I'm going to tell you is that one was a showdown and a whole lot of fun with me, you, Brent. I can say I believe we had 4 of us in one bass boat, so we'll leave it at that for later in the season. And I think a word for all of that might have been chaos. Am I right?
Yeah, there may be a pretty good bleeper reel from that segment.
So, and I want to go ahead and repeat our 811 trivia question of the week. What is the furthest state that we've went out to film in? Keep commenting on that. Want to say hi to Joe Reynolds, Pete Banach, Scott Christie jumping on here, Steve Hammer, David Brook, Kevin Shepard, Jason Manning, Troy King. Always trying to say hi to everybody. Tracy Bryant, we've seen you on there. Tracy's another partner in our 811 message. She's with Vectrin, which is a Centerpoint Energy company. And I always want to pat Tracy and them on the back, because they're always helping us with our Indiana episode. And she's a big, another person that just has a vested interest in that 811 message and telling people about safe digging. So I always got to make sure we're throwing that message out there. So, and you got to see that 811 all over my boat, and you know what number you call before you dig, right, Brent? All right,
yes,
we
sir.
want to make sure we got that on you now. But, well, Brent, I want to thank you for coming on here. And if you got anything else you want to share with anybody, or tell anybody, how to look up your information on how to contact you all and to come down to Vero Trophy Bass Lakes. Take a minute and let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, man, we have a website. It's VeroTrophyBassLakes.com. Everything, is on there, information where we're located, pricing. We do need to update the lodging because this is a pretty new
amazing
deal.
place.
Of course, we have Instagram at Trophy Bass Lakes and Facebook, Vero Trophy Bass Lakes. And they can also, look me up on Facebook, Brent Anderson Fishing, and shoot us a message that way.
Yeah, well, I'll just end this on a good plug. I said to you, and I don't know if that made the show, I can't remember, but I made note of to Brent a number of times that you can go look at his winning resume on FLW and all them bass tours, and you can look at mine, and now you know why you want to go down there and fish with this guy. So.
I've been very blessed, man, the last 10 years. I just can't, thank everybody enough that's supported me and kept me going all this time. So, and I appreciate you guys coming down, Mark.
Well, we appreciate you, and I'm gonna go over here and talk a little bit about an announcement we have coming, and do a little prize giveaway or two, and talk to some folks about a few other things that we got going in next week's episode. So Brent, want to thank you for being on here, and I'll look forward to talking to you and seeing you soon.
You too, buddy. Thank you for having me.
We'll hand you those. I think we got sluggish here for a second. It says we're having a technical difficulty, I think. I said it was sluggish for a second. All right, boy. We've moved back over to the table here, and hey, there's my old buddy Terry McWilliams I was talking about. This guy right here, Terry, when he jumps on, boy, when you take him down to Vero, he's down there trying to catch all the fish before you get in the boat water. I believe you saw that at the opening of the episode. So, I've been talking all week that I had a cool announcement to make, and back here on our Facebook page, I'm going to pick a winner who guessed who the company was going to be that's going to be joining our team. And I am truly excited about this partnership with these folks. For one, they're just, they're great people. I went down and had the opportunity to speak with a guy named Will Roby and sit and talk to him, and a young man named Colton and Tony. And, I'm always looking for the right fit for the show, because I don't, do a whole lot of, here's what bait, here's what this, here's that, because I typically just like to, I like to film about people, places, and great stories. That's what the direction is for me. People, places, and great stories. Yeah, I love sharing the 811 message and talking to folks about calling before they dig and all that, but I'm not selling anything, because that's free. That's just keeping you safe. It's the law, and it's just smart. So that's an easy sell. So these guys, I went down, talked to them, and I said, well, me and Christopher took off, and these are Kentucky folks on top of it. So we drove down to Murray, Kentucky, and met with these folks, and they got back with me and said, you know what, Mark, we'd be excited to be a part of the team. And so if you look behind me here, I've had a bunch of their baits laying out the last few weeks, and some of these products I've thrown, some of them I haven't, and I've told them guys that, and that's what I liked about them. They weren't in it for me just to sell tackle, but I'm excited to announce that a company, Jinko Fishing, which is Jinko Lures here, they make a whole lineup of great baits here. They got deep diving crankbaits. They've got crappie tackle. I've got a whole mess of baits here behind me, and we're excited to have Jinko Fishing on board with the direction. We're going to be talking about these guys, sharing a little bit about their baits and what they bring to my fishing arsenal. A bait that I'm excited about is this little CD7 crankbait right here. You know, it's just a great little crankbait. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of tackling things over you know, over the next few months that I'll share with you about their products. But you know, Will Roby, I want to thank you and Jinko Fishing for wanting to be a part of our team. I don't take it lightly to bring somebody on board. I'm always wanting to, you know, make sure I get that safe digging message out there. And I've got great companies like Power Pole, Ranger Boats, you know, Mercury Outboards, and of course Denali rods, and those, you know, those are genuine. They're great companies with great products, and have you guys join our team and to think we're part of your team, I can't say enough. I'm truly excited about it. I know from conversing with you, Will, back and forth in all our communications, I think it's going to be a fun partnership. I'm looking forward to some of the things that we've got coming, and you know, Jinko's I've got some fun stories that I learned about them. If you look at their logo, it's pretty neat. It's I'm gonna say modern, you know, and it's actually Colton's head. So if you kind of check out the Jinko products, check out their logo and know that this is Colton's head. And that's just something fun for you to go look up on their website and check out their products. I know you can get them through Tackle Warehouse, you know, all the different major, you know, Will can probably comment if he's on there, all the different places that you can go to get their products. And, you know, check some of your local tackle shops as well. I always like supporting those guys because they're those mom and pop shops. You know, it's always great to be able to walk in there, grab what you need, and go straight to the lake. So I always say, don't forget the small guy, because I'm a small business guy myself, and so I'm always saying support those guys. But Mike Terrick said, great baits. I have a couple of their crankbaits. Like hearing that, Mike. And anybody else got anything? You throw the Jinko Scroungers. That's the trimmer heads, I believe. And I think we threw them when we were in Mexico. And I believe that's what my son caught his 8-pounder on, was one of their heads a couple years ago. One of the baits of theirs that I'm pretty excited about throwing, and I got to throwing this the other day, is their booty shaker swim bait. And let me tell you one thing that I saw with this bait right out the gate. If you're used to a little bait that's a real narrow wobble, wait till you throw this booty shaker and see how it walks in the water. Folks, this thing, you know, is a beast of a swim bait. They make them in a whole bunch of different sizes, but you know, just go and check out the products, patronize these guys, because we're excited to have Jinko Fishing as a partner of the direction, and we're glad and excited to be a partner with you as well. So that exciting news has been all week long. So I'm going to go down through here and I'm going to talk and look and see who has guessed who is the furthest state away that we filmed in. And the first one from the bottom as I scroll up, hi Brad Mason. I see you on there, Lisa Clifton, LG&E, how are you? And let's see who guessed the 811 trivia question correctly. Christopher, scroll down through there and see who has guessed the great state of Texas. The furthest I've ever drove fishing was Lake Falcon, which is Zapata, Texas. And if you go on the map and you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going through the state of Texas until you hit the Mexico border at the Rio Grande River, well, Zapata, Texas is down there, and that is the furthest place that I've ever traveled to. So the answer to the 811 trivia question of the week is none other than the giant state of Texas. I think here, Steve Hammer just popped up on here as Texas. So we're gonna put you, Steve, a little package together, which is gonna be a Direction t-shirt, a hat, and I'll throw you some Jinko lures in here and some other goodies. And you're going to be the winner of our 811 trivia question. So once again, I want to say how excited we are to have Jinko on board, and they've got just a great lineup of tackle and products that you can go check out. And, you know, I guess for this week, I can say that Vero Trophy Bass Lakes, folks, was crazy. To catch those 8-pounders like that, I wish you could see all the footage the next day that we had of topwater. And maybe, Chris, one day here next week or so, you could throw up a little video of a couple of them catches on the topwater from the next day that we videoed. Maybe we'll throw a little video up, and I'm giving him something else to do live tonight. And you can throw us up a new video of 2 or 3 of them catches on the topwater. But so to skip on forward to next week. Well, next week's episode is going to be, let's see, sunny Florida this week. We're going to go totally opposite to fishing in a polar vortex in the great state of Illinois and on Lake of Egypt with my good buddy Justin Berry of the Crappie Connection. And Justin's just a great friend, and I'm going to tell you, we were a little bit chilly, and when I guess my hint's going to be for the episode that I thought Justin was an amazing crappie fisherman, but I think I found out, well, he might know how to catch bass during a polar vortex. So the episode next week's going to be exciting. It's going to be a cold one. It's one you definitely want to see because it totally did not unfold any way we thought that it was going to unfold. But Justin's a great guy, and if you get bored and you want to listen to some great podcasts and you want something to fill your time, go to the Crappie Connection, check out Justin's podcast, because I love this guy. He's just a great friend, and he is, somebody just put on there, dude, they are wrecking crappie on Rend right now. Somebody, oh, you talking. And then somebody else put, love the Lake of Egypt, get some tanks in there. Lake of Egypt is a cool lake. It was a fun fish. That's going to be a great episode. Check that out next week. So anyway, I guess simple way to put it, I want to appreciate everybody that follows us on After the Bite and joins us and watches. And we appreciate everybody that's always following the direction, watching. The one thing I always want to remind you of, as I do all the time, is always call 811 before you dig. It's the law, it's safe, and I have to do it all the time, almost daily. My office, we're always calling in our locates, and you always want to be doing that. And simple way to put it is, this is After the Bite. We're on every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. After our episode airs on Pursuit Channel at 7 p.m. So join us next Tuesday. We always got some great giveaways, and you might be the next winner on After the Bite. I'm Mark Stowe, and thank you for joining us, watching The Direction, and After the Bite.